Hey folks, welcome back. In this video, we're going to create our multi-view drawing of this object. So if you haven't watched the video on file management, make sure to do that first. Once you've done that, you can work along with me. So we're going to start off by going up to the orange file tab, and we're going to click on new. That'll bring us to this template page. When you first get here, if this bottom template folder is closed, you may have to click on the drop down, and we're going to go to the SHS template. This was the template folder we created yesterday, and then we're going to open up a drawing block with the SHS title file by clicking on it. So what this is going to have us do is populate our title block first. So it wants to know what's the name of the class or course. We're going to type in all caps IED. Wants to know what your name is. Again, in all caps. Typically an engineer would put their first initial, full last name. It wants to know what the name of this drawing is. We're going to call it our first shape. What block are you in? This is just asking which hour you're in. So just go ahead and populate it with your class period. And then it wants to know the drawing scale. We're going to assume we're doing a 1-to-1 scale. So I'm going to do 1:1. If we put in something at a different scale, we can come back and edit this later on. So let's go ahead and click OK. Telling us we got a style conflict. Let's go ahead and just say OK to keep moving forward. And here we are at our drawing sheet. So you can see it populated this bottom area for us, which is what we want. Now we just need to get our shape in. So we're going to do that by coming over to the base button. We're going to click on base. And because I've got this copy of my very first IPT file open, it suggests this one is the one I should add. And if you don't have this open, you may have to click on the little file finder folder here and then go digging through your documents. Remember, we saved this in our Google Drive yesterday, so that's where you're going to want to look for your yellow part. Oh, I closed too many tabs. Let's go ahead and click that base button one more time. Now, when you hit the base button, the first thing we want to do is pick a front view. This is not the best front view of this object. So we can move this object around by clicking on the view cube, right, until we get it to a spot where it looks like, ooh, this is a good front view. So I'm trying to find one that's got some good contours, shows its best, best shape. It's got the longest axes running left to right, looks stable. I think this is going to be my best front view for this object. I'm not sure. Oh, I know why it's cutting this off, because it doesn't come to a point. This is a square object. So I think this shows good contour. I went over here and I switched my scale back to 1-to-1. Okay, now I want to get my top view. So to get my top view, I'm going to come hover over this red triangle and I'll click it. And I just created a top view. I want to get a right side view, so I'm going to come over to this triangle on the right side, and I'll click it, and I got my right side view. Okay, I'd also like to get an isometric view, so I'm going to come to the red triangle, not the 90-degree lines, but the red triangle on the corner, and I'll click, and it'll project an isometric view up. Okay. So I'm noticing my isometric view is kind of hanging off my paper, so I'm going to reposition this front view, and it'll pull all those other views over for me. This is still hanging off my paper. We'll take care of that in just a second. So I like what I'm seeing here initially, so I'm going to click on OK. All right, and here's that file management piece again. I want to save this now that I've got some information in here. So I'm going to go to File, Save, and I need to save this drawing sheet in the same file folder I saved my original part. So I'm back in my Google Drive at IED 2021. And it's going to give this drawing sheet the same name as my part. So it's called Copy of My Very First Dimensioning Assignment, which is what we want. So you just click this drop down, confirm you're in your Google Drive, and then you can click Save. So I want to clean one thing up here, and then I've got a multi-view drawing. I don't like the fact that this view is hanging over the side. So I can actually edit this stuff just by hovering over it. I get those red dotted lines. I'm going to double click. And then I'm going to do two things. I'm going to come over and I'm going to change the scale of my isometric. I'm going to go half scale. And it looks like it fits a little better. I can actually drag the position of this around a little bit, so it fits on my paper better. And typically an isometric view of an object would be shaded in on a multi-view drawing like this. So I'm going to come to the Style tab, and I'm going to hover over the third tile. It says shaded, and that's the one I want to select. So I'm going to click that, say OK, and then it shades my object in. Now, I like to save often, so I'm going to come up to the little disk here. That's our save command, and I'll click on it. And I've got this multi-view drawing saved looking the way I want. So once you've got this done, go ahead and move on to the next video in this series.